Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 19th. It is OpEx week, and this is a session going over open positions and then some trading view and thinkorswim training combination for those of you who use both of those. If you were in CVNA this morning, you got a nice early earnings gap. They moved it up, surprised everybody that was playing this into earnings, and gapped up. And I made a play off it today as we came into the 49.26 level right in here. Played it off of that with a stop below this VP level at 47.49. And to see these, VP is powerful, right? But if we were playing a gap up and we were playing, first thing in the morning like that, you really don't have a lot of VP to go off of, right? If you look at that chart. So kind of one of the important things to do to really, if you're going to play a gap up where there's no, nearby VP, is to make sure that you turn on your extended hours so that you can see what happened during the, whether it was an overnight gap up or a morning gap up, and you can find some volume profile levels to take shots off of instead of just kind of shooting in the dark or just playing off the day low or something like that. When I opened up CVNA, there was some nice clear volume profile areas to take shots off of. And so I took a shot off of this one and kind of rode it up into, I think that this next one, 51.83, took it off there. It bounced a little higher, but I can't remember what I made on it percent wise, but I think it was in the 50s. Just a nice little grab right there from one VP level to the next with a stop of that lower VP. So that was nice. And then I didn't play it again because I was doing some other things. But I played a little MMM today. I played MMM off of this level here and then took it off up into this VP level up there. And you can see that VP level over here. So that was a nice trade. And then we played a little coin today. I don't know how many of you played this with me or are still in this with me. I have a trailer going at the moment. We took a shot at it right here off of this. So, sorry, let's look at the larger time frame. So coin looks pretty good on a 30-minute. And we were kind of stocking this yesterday. We put in some support and resistance levels with some, middle range point of control levels. And I didn't want to take it yesterday because I had to walk away for a little bit. But I know some of you got in that down here around 102, which would be a great entry. We had a little fake breakout today of this resistance level here. We popped up, we ripped through it. I took my first shot off this upper 107.22 VP area that I had placed in here. It didn't give us much, and then it rolled over. And then so I took another shot at the primary VP level that I wanted to take a shot at, which was 105.04. Played that back up into that previous level, took some off, bought some again as it came back down in, took some off into this VWAP area up here, this push through, and then I still have a trailer on. And so I'll probably be taking that trailer off here. I'd like to see that thing kind of creep on up to this resistance level up here, but that was also a pretty fun trade. Not sure how many of you were in that one as well. Sorry, let me catch up here on chat. So that's those are the trades I have on I have a longer term trade on ABC, and that one really went against me this morning. Um, Luckily, I have the earnings series, and if this can kind of reclaim the pattern here, then I will continue to hold. I had some symmetry lines in here, but if this does not reclaim this pattern level, I'm probably going to cut it, especially since I'm going to be gone. I'll just take the loss on it. That'll be fine. Because I don't want to have to manage a trade while I'm on vacation for the next 2 days. Okay, so let's talk real quick. Does anybody have questions about positions and or open positions? Asian trader, you sold a put credit spread on coin. What tool do I use to draw the VP lines? I just use the line, this tool here, the horizontal line tool, and I change them to be dotted lines. I just like the way that looks a little bit better, and I have a key command for it, so it's Command H, and it just, wherever my cursor is, it just drops it in, and then I can change the color of it. Siri, this is Nate G, not Nate B. But yeah, I can talk about my trailing strategies. Let's go. I'm just trying to catch up on chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything. I am recording now, so that's good. Let's talk about VWAP and a VWAP, or anchored VWAP. Okay, so if you have VWAP on your charts, you're only going to see, and you can see here, I'll highlight it. Right, it's that. Oh, it just did all the settings again when I turned it on and turned it off. So I don't want those guys in there. And I don't need the fill. Okay, but it's this dotted line here on the daily chart. And this tells me kind of the mid-range of where everyone's at for the day's trading. But you'll see yesterday's VWAP comes in, stops, right? It changes overnight, but then it gives me a new VWAP starting line with today's little gap up if we're looking at coin, or if we're looking at Netflix, right? Netflix was really extended yesterday, so its VWAP was way down here below the close, but then we start today and it's right in the center of that opening candle. So VWAP just gives us a range, kind of a mid range of where everyone is. It's kind of like a little bit of a dynamic POC in that sense. Although we're moving from value area to value area when we're talking about VP levels, but it's just a mid range, and it can be used as a good support and resistance level for bounces. Usually, you'll get a pause there. See here on Netflix, right? We pushed right through, but then we came back and we bounced off it 3 different times before we went again. And you'll see that in reverse. But if you want to know where everyone is, kind of that mid-range for multiple days, and usually we'll do this, we would do this on Carvana today. Does anybody have, I'm trying to think of something that's given us a pretty good gap. Or let's go to Adobe. We've been playing Adobe quite a bit. And, we've gotten this huge extension on, if we go to the 130 or the 195, right? We want to see where people are. Sorry, let's go to 195. Apologies. There we go. I'm all over the place here. But if we want to know where kind of the center of this is for all of these days, we're going to go down to anchored VWAP, and we're going to pick our little gap up, and it's going to give us our anchored VWAP line. And as we kind of scroll out, you can see anchored means I've anchored it to a certain time frame, to a certain point in time. So we got this gap and pull, and we consolidated. We talked about this yesterday. It's a perfect TPS chart, right? But this blue line is the anchored VWAP for these multiple days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's 20 some odd days, right? This is the mid-range of where everybody is since this gap up. So that's the difference between anchored VWAP and VWAP. VWAP is just going to give you that days or that session's trading. Anchored VWAP will give you that VWAP level continuous from a certain point that you want to see. Usually that's an event or a gap up or a place where you want to find out where traders are since that point. Does that make sense on anchored VWAP and VWAP? Mark, anchored VWAP is available on Thinkorswim, but it is horrifically awful. It's pretty awful. You have to you can't just click a candle and it just sets automatically. You have to go in and put it on like a calendar with a time frame. It's awful. Borderline unusable, because you saw how easy and quick that was for Adobe, right? And then when you switch time frames, it's going to hold, right? It's going to hold from that opening candle of that day. Duke, right? That's an understatement. It is awful. Andrea, I turn extended hours off unless I need to look at something specific regarding a gap up, because there's just not enough volume typically in the extended hours to affect the VP levels to the extent that most of our trading, and you'll see here. Let me see if I can turn it on. This is SPY. And I have, is it simple sessions? Yeah, let me turn this on real quick. So you see these gray areas. This is from open to what, 12? Right? And these gray areas are when we're getting all the activity. That means the European markets are still open, and our markets are open, and I believe the Asian markets are also open. It's mixed US and Europe. Right? So that's when the majority of people are trading. And then right at 12 it cuts off. So a lot of times you can see there's a lot of action, and then we'll kind of consolidate and go sideways. And then where you turn off extended hours, way down here in the corner, regular hours and extended trading hours. That's trading view, right? Awful, right, Larry? Awful. I don't know why they can't make that better in Thinkorswim. I mean, it is downright impossible. And toggling VP is also really, I don't like it in Thinkorswim either. It's really, there's a couple of things in Thinkorswim that are pretty frustrating. And that trading view has just made amazing. Old snowboarder, how many dots on the squeeze is a good average? 4 or 5. I would say you need it to give it a little bit of time to build. 1 or 2 is probably a little too early. 15 or 16 is quite a bit. It might be too long. And you get a feel for that as you start playing for it. I kind of think anywhere from 5 to 10 dots is ideal. Andrea, how do you find those gray areas? Yeah, it's a indicator in TradingView called Simple Sessions. And then you go in and you decide, what sessions you want to see on and off. I don't have it on I have it on my charts, just as kind of a reminder. But typically, if I'm just scanning, I just have it off. But it's just a good reminder that when you're approaching noon, you're going to have less active traders. If you do, let's see if we turn them all on. It gets real busy, but it's just kind of fun to have as a good reminder. I like to leave the mixed US Europe session on. What if you're colorblind? That's not good. Yeah, TOS Angela is pretty bad for the volume profile. Although their point of control, that's kind of the main VP I have up on my charts, and it can be pretty accurate. It's just nice to have there because you see something coming in and you're like, this looks like it could be a good level, and then of course I go look for it on TradingView, and validate that level is correct. Poor boy, trying to get TOS to get point and click anchored VWAP. Yeah, I don't know why they won't do it. All right, D-Man's got an update on his Tesla trade. D-Man, you're now a TikToker, huh? I've seen some of them. You got to be where the people are at. Somebody asked if there's still a play on ABC. I would recommend against it personally, because it's so spready right now. One of the reasons I did not... Your child's a TikToker. As this was pulling today, I probably would have gotten out of it a lot earlier, but it was just so spready. And I had earnings series, which is good, and I was waiting to see if it would fully break down the pattern. But it was just so spready to get out of it. I would have had so much slippage. It wasn't when I got into this series, so that was kind of frustrating to really see that massive spread. So I wouldn't recommend. I mean, we came in here to this value area low, and we bounced, at least for now. But the earnings series got really spready. CPB, I'm using what squeeze indicator? I'm using the one from the Squeeze Pro from Make It Zero. Let's see. Yeah, Squeeze Pro indicator from Make It Zero. Make it. I like it a lot. Can I chart AI? You bet. Okay, let's go. Let's get a clean AI chart. That's not clean, but let's clean it. Let's get rid of that POC. Why don't we do it together? Who asked for that? Tammy? What do you see on AI? Give me some levels and I'll put them in based on your charts. Just give me like price values and I'll put lines in. You remember this was last week we were talking, maybe we were setting up for a little mini, not a mini, but, kind of a head and shoulders here. Came down, we're retesting that level again. We did get a little bit of a roll though. 37.50. Okay, I'll put a line in at 37.50. Okay, what else did you have? And 37.43, I'm assuming. Oh, at 43 total, sorry. 43 even. Okay, let's All right, let's go 43. See if I can adjust that to exactly 43. There we go. All right, and then this one, 37.50. Okay. So are you using VP for these levels? No, I don't always use a 30-minute. I do love a 30-minute though. I don't always use a 30-minute. Really you'll see when I click over to most of my charts, MMM, that's a 1 minute, right? Coin, that's a 1 minute. Coin still looks great. TTD, that's a 1 minute. But when we're trying to chart something overall, I'll start a little bit further out, right? Because trying to get this whole pattern on a 1 minute isn't going to work, right? So I'll come out to a 15 or a 30. Or further out if need be, right? To really find some levels. So for AI, talking about levels, I would put a point of control level, and I'm going to change that to red. I would move that up to about 38.03. Right? I'd come down here. I mean, really our pattern starts to break down. Our pattern really breaks down, or this massive, larger pattern really starts to break down here at 31.27 right here, right? Point of control kind of in that area. I think this level up here, I would maybe bring this down just a little bit to 42.66, right? That's kind of part of our head and shoulders pattern. That's the shoulder. And then I would start to get in a little closer and look at what else we have here, because we have quite a bit of VP in this area. So I'd put another kind of red line here at 39.70. So from 38 to 39.70, we're going to hit kind of the bulk of our people. And then I'd start drilling down. I'd look at this on a 5-minute. I'd see if those lines still match up. So our point of control line matches perfectly here still at 37, let's call it 37.95. I'm on SPY. This looks like AI to me. Okay, so I would probably adjust this little bar down to about 39. So from 38 to 39 is the bulk of our people, right? We've seen this level show some support for quite a few times, right? I think a breakout above this level is great. I think we could break and then even come into this 41.64 level here if we broke out and then reclaimed. So how are you looking to play this? Who asked me about AI? Tammy? So how are you looking to play AI here? There's a couple things I could see. We've kind of had a bit of a little fake breakout from this high here. We've pulled back into that additional VP level that we had just placed. As we start to get closer, let's go in on a 1-minute, right? We've got our levels. We had a little fake breakout up here. You could see we put in a little head and shoulders, right? We pulled back to this level that we had set just under that, which could have been a great spot to, depending on how you want to trade this, if you're day trading this, if you're, playing this on a much larger time frame. I don't know. If I were day trading this could have been a great spot to take a shot for a bounce back up. But then when it didn't clear that resistance level, that would have been an exit point. It's cleared that and rolled. Usually when we get kind of a false breakout, we're gonna come down. Where would be a next spot? I might try taking a stab at it. Maybe down here at 40.25. If I'm looking at it on a larger time frame, maybe we're gonna hold this trend line, right? So I could see potentially taking a trade as we come down into these VP levels and this trend line. Maybe trying to take it long there on a larger time frame for a bounce back up. And then you kind of have to watch, it's a small one, you'd have to watch as you came back up into this resistance area at 42.50-ish area. You'd have to watch to see if that was going to push through or potentially form. That would be a tiny head and shoulders, but that would be something you'd have to watch for, right? Or are we going to get an ascending triangle break? Right. So if we go that one, that one, that one, the other option, and that would be a good spot to take, is a move down into here and then up into here for an ascending triangle breakout. Does any of that help? I don't see a play on it right this second, either short term or long term. But having your chart marked up, right? Having your chart marked up and kind of having a plan in place for, okay, if this breaks out, I'm going to play it like this. If this pulls back, I'm going to play it like this. You know, there's so many ways to play these. You know, there's even a day trade off of that potentially. But having a plan, if it does this, I'm going to do this. If it does that, I'm going to do that, right? If then statements. That's what you want to get set up after you've marked up your chart. And then that's the preparation side, right? And two or three people mentioned it today on the preparation side, is being prepared and having your charts marked up and having your if then statements written out, preferably until you've earned the right to do them in your head. That's going to set you up for success. So when we do get a pullback in AI or we do get a breakout in AI, you know what your plan is. And you know what your levels are and you know what your risk is. So Tammy, I hope that helped. I kind of went through that kind of fast, but there isn't a play on it that I see that I like at the moment. So Nate, when you're playing VP levels, you were really not focused on time frame squeezes, or do you look for the squeeze and then start to look for VPs? That's exactly what I do. The second part, C-Dog. So Nate Bear plays squeezes. He was my first mentor. And D-Man plays has a lot of edges, but he plays VP levels primarily, and he was another one of my mentors. Those are my only two, and only two that I think I will ever need. But I learned the squeeze play, the TPS play from Nate Bear, and had a lot of success with that. And then I added VP levels to help maximize entry and exit and risk reward. And now I use them both. So for instance, and they're interchangeable to me, that I can't do one without the other, right? So let's say I'm looking at TTD on this 78-minute squeeze, right? Remove drawings. And you'll see me do this time and time and time again. So you'll get plenty of experience with it. But let's say this isn't great. I'm just trying to find a good example that makes a little bit of sense. Let's say I liked this as a squeeze. I don't know if anybody else has a perfect squeeze chart. But I'm going to come in here and say, okay, well, I want to take this, but I don't know where I want to take this yet. I'm going to put it on my watch list. It clearly supports in that range right there, right? You know, clearly point of control is in this range right here, right? But then I'm going to come down to a 1 or a 5 minute, and I'm really going to mark that chart up and find out where a good entry spot is, what my targets are, how I want to play that. You know, I would love TTD if I was wanting to play this on the 78-minute chart. I'd love it down here at, 86.68, because that's great risk reward. It breaks that, I'm out, right? I can take a larger position. I would consider a starter position up here at this point of control, because we pushed up and now we're kind of retesting that general area. So we could go, but I wouldn't go full position here, because I wouldn't want to leave full position on all the way down to here, and I'd have nothing left to add and I'd be underwater. Right? So that's how I kind of combine them. I mostly play volume profile within the confines of a larger time frame squeeze. That's pretty much my edge if I had to make a long-winded explanation of it. I will day trade VP levels. But the basis of my trading is TPS using volume profile for entries and exits. Avatar, I would never hold anything, especially something like Tesla, through earnings. Unless it's a long-term position, which I do have a long-term position in Tesla, which is just a hold for forever, right? But you can maybe make some money. It's just a gamble, right? But you can also get your face ripped off. And depending on what you're playing, if you're playing options, all that IV comes out right after earnings. So it might go the direction you want, but you are not going to get, Rivian looks like it's at a good spot to take a shot. On TOS it does. Let's see what it looks like here. Huh, not quite as good, huh? That's funny. Sometimes Thinkorswim gives you levels that look a little better. I have a point of control level on Thinkorswim on Rivian. Longer term is 30 and above. Preferably 78, 130, 195, or daily. Preferably. 30s are usually quick hits, right? 30s tend to just kind of be daily or just one overnight swing. But a 30 can develop into a 195 to a 78 to a 130 to a 195 to a daily. So you have to be prepared for that as well. Yeah, I'll pop over to Thinkorswim here in just a second, and we can look at some of that. So, Dog, I hope that answered your question. Oh yeah, good. Did we get a little pop in the market? Oh yeah. Maybe a little news. Those two wicks. Doesn't really say. I see there's a volume profile area kind of right here on Rivian, and it looked like it maybe wanted to bounce that, but when I look at it in TradingView, I don't get it as clearly as I'm seeing it on Thinkorswim, and I need to see it on TradingView to really buy into it. So no play for me on Rivian. Just caught my eye. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me switch over to Thinkorswim here. Nice, Todd. 30% winner. Love that. How do I make the tabs at the top of TradingView? I just hit the plus sign over on the right-hand side. And you probably have to have TradingView Pro or one of the higher level subscriptions. And I'm not running this through my browser. I'm running this as a native app. TradingView volume profile on the left side is VRVP. And I come in here to inputs. And nope, sorry, it's not inputs. It's placement, left or right, under style. Okay, anybody have any other quick TradingView questions before I switch us over to Thinkorswim? Okay, all you Thinkorswim people, get ready, because we'll do this, and then I got to jump off and get ready. Okay, let me see if I can do this without jacking everything up or accidentally showing myself. Let's see, hold on. The mic might cut out for a second. Give me a sec. Can everybody hear me still? And do you see Thinkorswim? I'm just going to do answer some questions on Thinkorswim here, Tommy. I would prefer to look at charts and do other things in TradingView. It makes more sense. It's easier. Oh, now my Thinkorswim wants to act real slow. Good night. What just happened to Apple? Does anybody have news on Apple? That's... What the... That's a crazy move in Apple. I was wondering why somebody just typed in Apple. Man, wish I was in that. Okay, so Thinkorswim real quick. This is my first chart. As you can see, I have 5-minute, 30-minute, 78-minute, daily, and a weekly. I mean, I can be able to see my mouse move around, but you can see the cursor come up. I wonder if this is a fade the news kind of thing on Apple. Getting some FOMO here on Apple. God, what a move. 200, eh? I think 200 is in the cards. 198. All right. Apple tests and Apple GPT. Yeah, you knew that was coming. Or you figured it was coming at some point. Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably a fade the news type of thing. But I just, I mean, if that hits 200, no, I'm not going to fade that. I don't want to play that game. I'm leaving here in a few hours. I don't need to be trying to watch something on the car ride. Okay, so who was asking about scans for TOS? BYU, you had puts in Apple? Hope not. That hurts. You guys were in Apple? Or you were asking about TOS, that's right. So I can share this screen with you if you want it. This is my TPS long monitor screen without the paid indicators. Would you like me to share this? I'm happy to. If you use TOS, you can just plug, whoops, let's do this. This URL in, and that will give you this grid with 5, 30, 78 daily and weekly on it. So if you click that with thinkorswim open, it'll ask you to save it. You can name it whatever you want. I have TPS. I save it as TPS long monitor because it's on my curved monitor. How do you get TOS 78-minute? Oh, yeah, I can show you how to do that. So you go to your time frames icon, and then you pick your time interval, and you set your aggregation period to 78, and then you star it. I can't quite remember how to star it. Does that customize the list? Let's see. It's been a while. Yeah, here you go. So if you want to add 78 and 130 to your lists, you have to go customize the list down there at the bottom. And then this window comes up. And I hope you can see this window. You might not be able to. Dang it, you can't see it because I'm sharing just the window and not my screen. But anyway, you'll get a chart settings window and you can add a time frame. And then you just go in and you set it to like a 20-day 78, 30-minute, 30-day. Yeah, you can't see it. I'm sorry. I'll have to do this another time. Right, there's 20. You could set a 20-day, 78-minute chart. Set a 30-day, 130-minute chart, and then set a 180-day, 195-minute chart. And you're just going to do that in your favorite time frames. So the way you get there, this part you'll be able to see, is click on time frame under favorites. You're going to come all the way down here to customize list, and you're going to click that. And then you're going to add a time frame. I have to set up my stream differently to show you. Yes, I can do the scan again for TOS. Right? So it's customize the list, and then you're going to add these in here. 30-day 130, 180-day 195, and then it's on a 20-day 78-minute. Okay. And then the squeeze scan, I'll just share this with you. You don't have to set it up. Share the scan. This is a TTM 30-minute squeeze. High ATR, 6%. Right? This is 30-minute squeeze scan. Right there. Click on it, save it, run it. Right? Run it, you'll get 15 or so right now that are in a 30-minute squeeze. You can run through them. And so this is how I scan. I have that scan running way over here on my left on this watch list. So that scan is dynamically creating this first watch list that you see up here. And I'm just going to go through it one by one and looking at this 30-minute chart. Sloan, just open it up. If I just shared the squeeze scan with you, you can open it up. Because if I open that window, it's not going to show you because of the way I have this stream set up currently. I'm happy to do that again at another time when I have some more time and I can change the recording, the way it's recording. Yeah, so that scan is linked to my watch list over here. Right? You can, once you save these scans, you can pull them up in a watch list, and it's dynamically created. So you can see here, I have 30-minute squeeze, high ATR, right? And then I just pick it. Where'd it go? Right there. 30-minute squeeze, high ATR. I hope you can see that. Let's see, I'm waiting for the... No, the colors investing tree, you can't see that, can you? Oh, that's brutal. So when you click this 30-minute squeeze, when you pick what you want in your watch list, there's a window that comes up that you can pick your scans. Sorry, that I didn't mean to do that right there. I need to do this again where you can see the pop-up windows. That will seriously help. No, I'm not still in OSTK. Yeah, so I have one ticker. I have it set to number 3. So all of these charts are set to number 3. So you can, the like MSTR right now is I can see MSTR on a 5-minute, a 30-minute, 78-minute, a daily, and a weekly. And then when I click through my scan watch list over here on the left, I can just see all those charts and see if anything looks interesting. So if we go down, MSTR 30-minute looks very, very interesting. I like that a lot. So I would write that down and go look at it on TradingView. Pan W, don't like it. Gonna go right by it. On, pretty extended, but I'm gonna look at that, right? So I'm gonna write that down. ACN, I don't love it. W, looks pretty extended, don't love it. Costco, same, don't love it. That doesn't mean I don't like it as a ticker or potential trade. I just don't like it for a 30-minute squeeze, right? I'm looking for our bird pattern. And if I go all the way down this list, let me know if anybody sees a bird pattern that I'm missing. Well, that one's taking a minute to load. So I only see one that has a bird pattern that hits me in the face. And that's MSTR. That one hits me in the face. And you'll just learn to figure that out. The link on how to set up the watch list. Yeah, the link on how to set up the watch list is on my, let's see if I can find it here for you. It's right here. Yeah, Nate B is out until tomorrow. BYU, the bird pattern is what we're looking for in our TPS setups. There's tons of videos on that. It's what we're looking for in our trend pattern squeeze. It's our primary edge in here. Something just filled for me. Oh, no. Oh. Well, there you go. Come on, Mike, and not paying attention. I got stopped on... I was letting coin ride for a little bit, my little trailer, and I got taken out. That's what I get. It's all right. I'd already made some decent profits on it, so we're good. Can you point it out on the monster chart? Yes, I sure can. Let's do this. Oh, that is the wrong drawing tool. Hold on. So if I'm looking at this monster chart on this 30-minute that you can see, got this, got this, right? That's our woodpecker. That's our bird pattern. Looks like a bird. Woodpecker pattern. How's that? That's what we're looking for. Trend. TPS stands for trend. Yes, we have a trend. We're moving upward. Pattern. We've hit a high. We've pulled back and we're consolidating near the moving averages. Right? Trend, pattern, and I need a different tool for this. TOS is hard. I apologize. And we have a squeeze forming. You can see it down at the bottom. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do a circle here, but you have the dots on the bottom that are squeezing. Corinne, thanks. That's our bird pattern, right? That's what we're looking for, and that's the kind of pattern that as you're scanning should just hit you in the face. Bam. And they'll start hitting you in the face the more you recognize them. Just boom, boom, boom. Nice, Cooper. Faded that Apple news. Love it. Faded it. Let's see. All right, everyone. Does anybody have any more Thinkorswim? And I can do more sessions on Thinkorswim later, next week maybe. But you've got the 30-minute scan. You've got my multi-time frame chart window available to you. You've also got the link to get the watch list boxes set up over here. These boxes colors, the red means there's a squeeze between the 21 and the 34. That's the dark brown. Let me see here. Trying to make sure I've got this right. So let's make this a 15-minute. It's kind of location of the squeeze. Where price is location of the squeeze. So this is a 15-minute on ACN. The number gives you the number of dots in the squeeze, and the color gives you kind of the location. So if it's blue, it's down near the lower Bollinger Band. If it's dark red, it's between the 8 and the 21. I believe that's correct. And then if it's just red, I don't know if that's right. Anyway, they kind of change in color depending on where they are, where the price is in relation to the moving averages. I don't use that very much anymore because I use volume profile for my location. That just tells you if there's a squeeze on that time frame. So Laura, I don't think anybody in here uses interactive brokers. So I don't know that you'll get one. We're Thinkorswim, E-Trade, TradeStation, and then TradingView and TC2000. Unfortunately. Corinne, yeah, a lot of this info is definitely, yes. Yep. All right, everyone, I'm going to cut the recording here, and I'm going to jump off. I'll leave the screen up for a little while, but then I'm gonna have to take it down. I don't know if D-Man wants to take it at some point. I'll chat with him. But Nate will be back tomorrow and Friday, along with D-Man, and I'm out for the next 2 days. So yeah, got a 80th birthday party to go to. No, Ashley, YouTube until that functionality is here. No, I wish, Mark, the high desert. Daryl, I look younger than what? Than I sound? No, it's not my 80th birthday. It's a big, huge family reunion in conjunction with an 80th birthday. Mark? No, I have an ATR filter on my scans. It's at the bottom. I want to see something with at least 1.5 ATR on the daily or more. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of the week. Remember it's OpEx week. Don't be a hero. Don't generally, if I can come out of this week having made just a little bit of money or even flat, I'm pretty happy about it. A lot of times you'll make a lot of money one day and then lose a lot of money the next day, and then make a lot of money, and it's just this back and forth, and it sucks. So I've frequently said the best time to take a vacation is during OpEx week. Very rarely do I come away from an OpEx week going, man, I smoked it this week. I just sort of usually do just okay. Yeah, yeah. Don't lose your ass on an OpEx week. Okay, take care, everyone.